Hey, what's up, people? It's AK Madrex here, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the book by Geoff Jones called Dinosaur 4. And in case the author is watching this, I just want to let you know that I am really terrible with names. So if I mispronounce it somehow, don't take it personally, alright? So let's go. The overall plot, the overall plot was honestly a little bit cliche. Like it didn't feel like it was something I've not never seen before. Like I could almost predict what was gonna happen towards the end of it. To be perfectly honest with you, there were only a few minor maybe twists that I didn't expect, which kind of maybe saved it for me personally in terms of as far as the narrative went. But I knew exactly already that this what's her name? Oh, come on. Like I said, I'm terrible with names. Basically, the girl who was the owner of the cafe. All right, like um, she was basically like the one that I thought was not gonna die. Like I didn't feel that something was ever gonna happen to her, to be perfectly honest with you. And that already felt a bit predictable. Like I didn't feel like I feared for her death at all. But then again, there's other things as well, like when the plot that it just felt like something we already knew, like we've done this and been there, you know what I'm saying? But otherwise, it was, you know, it was nice. There were some nice twists there and then occasionally, but nothing I would say that was really major. Okay, it pretty much felt like it was a very kind of straight going like to where it was meant to be going. But good thing is, very easy to read. I didn't feel like I was struggling or even the time travel concept, which is very confusing overall as a subject and very difficult to explore and portray. I can appreciate the attempt being made here, and this, despite obvious problems that I see with it, like, you know, at the end, just a lot of things just didn't quite make sense. How like when they got back, like then he was like rewinding it again and again, like then he was placing himself, like that kind of didn't make sense to me. Maybe I just didn't follow it properly. Maybe I don't know. It could be my bad, but I I honestly didn't follow that quite a bit. So the ending kind of was a little bit off in a way. I don't know. Like I wanted a slightly different ending there. The dinosaurs. Well, yes, it's important because it's the dinosaur book, and dinosaurs are the most important thing. And sorry about the camera shake there. I think I accidentally leaned on my table. So let me just shift a little bit. Yeah, okay. So the dinosaurs felt, to be honest, a little disappointing because I felt like their behavior was not like just them generally behavior and the appearance, like they were exaggerated, and instead of obviously making them like the old school used to do it, very lizardy, I think this time you went with the idea of making them more bird-like, which is kind of more following the modern trends, and I don't really agree with a lot of these trends. I agree with a number of them, but only where there is actually evidence to prove it, and also the Deinonychus, it was not meant to be there in the first place. Like it wasn't around at the same time as the Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops, etc. So I felt like there was quite a number of problems with it. Also, you made the T-Rex way too much like a bird, which I felt like wasn't quite believable. I mean, in terms of like the feathering and all of that stuff, considering that there's no real evidence for this to support it, and I mean, if anything, I can give you more, ideas which are more likely to support the idea that it was more likely scaly. Because I think what you, as an author who writes a book about a subject that covers this kind of area, you maybe it would be highly recommended that next time you want to write something about dinosaurs, you perhaps it would be a good idea to research it a little bit in more depth rather than just looking at the media articles or whatever. Because it felt to me like everything that was shown there was more or less the media and fanboys, people who just come up with random stuff and without any kind of evidence just kind of show it out there. Like I personally didn't feel like there was a lot of science behind the dinosaurs there, as especially aside from maybe Deinonychus. Like the few other scenes probably were okay. Like there were some of them. Edmontosaurus as well. Like I didn't feel like you should have gone with the idea of it being too aggressive. I thought it would have been better if they just enjoyed the landscape of them grazing there from a distance, just so you would have a scene where they don't get attacked or threatened by a dinosaur. It's like the very name dinosaur in this book almost rings danger and death. I don't think that would have been the case in some circumstances. I felt like it was a little bit too overly used, in that way. The characters felt a little bit one-dimensional. Like I didn't feel like there was a lot of depth to them, aside from possibly Tim. Like I felt like Tim had a little bit of something going on. Like I really kind of liked his character. I could relate to him in a way that I felt like he was really driven, to kind of get back. Like I really believed in his purpose, like how he had that date, how it was so unconfirmed of whether that hand got cut off from his, soon to be maybe girlfriend, like that kind of really made me go like, oh shit, like is it really her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that part really, I was really like, I enjoyed his line basically. I got confused of how he was doing the whole time travel thing at the end, but I was very, very captivated by Tim's character. And I really liked the Williams character, but I was disappointed that he got killed off. But I guess it had to happen to either one of them too, so that one of them can make it. So it felt a little bit unclear to me as well what happened to Al. So he fell in the river, and then what? Like, what? We've got nothing else going on. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, what consequences? Anything? Like, he got left behind in that world. So is there any consequence of him being there? Is there going to be any consequences of any of them being there, or like, did this fail-safe reset everything? What happened? What happened there? Although in the end we see that they still didn't come back in their full original, cast, so to speak. So I don't know. It felt a bit confusing to me. Like, what was the actual aftermath? Like, I felt like I wanted a bit of the aftermath, but we didn't get to explore that, unfortunately. And I mean, overall, the death scenes of some characters felt a little bit off. Like the Edmontosaurus trampling scene felt like it shouldn't have happened. It should have been something else, to be honest. Like I wouldn't go as far as portraying them like that. And yeah, it just didn't make me believe that's what would have happened personally. All right. And the other bit that made me very skeptical was I think it was Hank who got killed by the sauropod tail. I just like I just sat there, read it, and I was like, okay, but it didn't like shock me. It didn't make me really believe in it because it just felt a bit off to me. Like it would have made it more believable if he was the one who got trampled by a sauropod, because that's a very, very likely idea. So I'm surprised you actually went with a tail, and because a human being so tiny getting hit by that tail. I mean, who knows what would have happened? Maybe it would have been exactly what you described. But I felt like you would have been a lot safer and more realistic if you just went with a more kind of obvious option of him just being trampled by accident or something like that, or being eaten by the crocodile. Who cares? And then crocodile gets trampled. You know what I'm saying? Overall, I definitely would recommend it. I personally give it 3 Rexes out of 5. So I, the only recommendation I would have is definitely do more detailed research and don't follow the popular trends just because they attract, people, etc. Just do your own research. Try to really kind of connect with it. Try to feel how it would be. Try to see if you can like imagine how it would have happened, how these things would have gone down. Try to see if you can actually like get into the evolutionary development of the epidermal structures in dinosaurs to understand their side of things a little bit better, to portray them so that those people who really have looked into the subject, they wouldn't be a little bit, thrown off by some of these things like I did. Like I'm not trying to say that I understand everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm not boasting. I'm just saying that there are certain things that I already know about some aspects that make me feel like it doesn't quite sound realistic the way they were described in certain ways. Like I didn't feel like they were really given a unique description. I felt like they were just given a very typical description that is more trendy with the current media kind of, flows. More like what is more in fashion rather than what is supported by science and what is actually realistic and what makes sense. So I strongly, one more time, I will say strongly advise you to go over some papers. There have been some nice ones produced recently as well. It would definitely help you if you want to make another dinosaur novel. I definitely think you should consider that. If you want to talk about it, feel free, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm attacking you or anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is a purpose of the review, okay? Negative and positive feedback gives you information that allows you to learn from it, and actually make a more better quality product next time so that you can actually really engage into it properly. I'm writing a novel myself and also a dinosaur novel, just so you know. So maybe when the time comes, you're gonna criticize my novel. You're gonna pay me back, aren't you? You're gonna get me for it eventually. But whether you will or not, that's a different story. I mean, I'm still a long way ahead before I get to finish it, and I will do a video talking about it soon as well. That will come to that. But whatever it is, Joe, is it Jeff or is it Joe? Like, because it's spelled not exactly how I know Jeff is spelled. So try to see if you can let me know somehow how to, or anybody in the comments, how do you properly pronounce his name? I don't want to like come out as a stupid ass by mispronouncing your name, because I've never actually heard anybody with that name, like, or met anybody like that. So I don't know how to pronounce it properly. If it's just Jeff as well, then okay, right. Anyways, I mean, thanks for watching, and I do hope you appreciate my honest review rather than just sugarcoating it, like many people do. Like, I'm the kind of guy who's always gonna give it to you straight, so if it's a good thing, then you know you did pretty fucking well. If it's a bad thing, then, I don't mean to attack personally. I only ever give what my honest feedback is. There is no bad thing, there's no good thing, it's only feedback, you know what I'm saying? No success or failure, just feedback. Alright? So I hope you're gonna be cool. I hope we get to talk as well. And one day, I hope when I publish my novel, I'm gonna hear from you as well and see what you have to say about it. And I'll be probably holding on to my butt cheeks. Right. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Post your comments down below. If you've read this book, let me know what you all thought. Let me know how you thought it was done, and share your impressions. If you haven't read it, then pick it up. I recommend you try it, at least just for the experience if you don't find it attractive. But some of you might actually like it a lot, I can tell. So, you know what I'm saying? Also, like, honestly, do pick it up, all right? And also, please support the author. So, like, I'm pretty sure he would really appreciate you, also picking it up, giving like the feedback. I mean, I know what it's like to be a creative guy, and we all need the support. We all need the feedback. We all need the reviews. We need not necessarily positive, but we do need that education fact from our audience to interact with us, to give us something back. So I think it would be really great if all of y'all also picked it up and shared your ideas down in the comments below, and we could discuss that. But until then, I will see you later in the next video. I'm not actually sure exactly what I'm going to be making next, but we'll just see what happens. I'm just going to go with whatever comes, to my head first. Go with the flow, you know what I'm saying? And yes, I do have a tendency of saying long goodbyes, and I'm going to try to drop that stupid habit. I promise y'all. So, take care, and thanks for watching.